Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about victim mindset. So let's get into it. So the question in question was posted on a video that I made about, I think it was why don't genius programmers help less skilled programmers with their code. And like the gist of what I'm trying to say is that if you're really lucky, there are some very nice programmers out there who will help you, but it's a really bad mindset for you to treat the world as if it owes you something. If you're lucky enough to find people who are willing to help you with your personal progression, that's a really good thing. But if you are the sort of person who depend on other people to do the job for you, or you leverage other people to the point where you're actually damaging yourself or your own personal development, you are what I call you have a victim mindset. And so the question was, Frederick, would you like to elaborate on how to get out of victim mindset? And when you were in the same position, what was your thought process? Well, let's first and foremost just try to define a little bit what I mean when I say victim mindset. So, victim mindset, per my definition, is when you allow something besides yourself to be used as an excuse for you to be less than you can be. What that basically means is that there is a certain type of person who will look to the world as being in the way of them making personal choices that can improve their situation. There's all, and I have met so many people that have this idea. If you have a tough life, you have a tough life, but there's a big difference between having a tough life and working to make it better, and having a tough life and just sitting around saying that everything is just shit and there's no way out. Because at the end of the day, if you have a really tough position and like you have no other option than what's available to you, well, you can your choices are always the same. You can either sit and wait for someone to come and save you, or you can try to act on it. And a victim sits and waits when they can actually make positive change themselves. And once, if you are in that mindset, the best way, at least per my from my perspective, to change this behavior is that you need to be willing to make the initial effort. You need to realize that if if you're gonna make your life better, or you're gonna make whatever situation you might find challenging better, you are the best person to deal with that. Now, asking for help, there's no shame in asking for help, and ideally, I mean, you should have people around you that are willing to help. We should help each other. Like we're all in this thing together, right? But there's also there's a limit to how much you can ask another person to assist you, and you have to be very clear on what the difference is between asking for help and basically depending on another person or something, someone else to do everything for you. That is what a victim does. A victim puts themselves in a position where they are completely dependent on that somebody else who is stronger or more equipped or whatever to do all the things for them, to basically act as a crutch. And if you want to get away from that, you need to let that go. You need to start doing things by yourself so you can become self-reliant. And once you realize that actually you are actually better at making yourself stronger than anybody else is going to be able to be. Like, nobody else is going to be able to help you become better as much as you yourself can possibly. Like, it's impossible. If you are actively trying your best and pushing it, people can assist you. They can give you a guidance and so forth to make the process easier for you. But fundamentally, the best thing for you is if you do it yourself. An example would be when I was growing up. My mother, as the firstborn, as you can probably imagine, I am the literal stereotype of the standard family, the average family. First kid gets everything, gets coddled, I'm a mama's boy out into my fingertips. My mom did everything for me, like literally everything. Like whatever, if I found something to be a little bit like, I wasn't a single child, because if I had been an only child, it would probably have been even worse. But she did everything for me, and the thing was that, I mean, that was really nice for me because I never had to deal with anything scary when I was a kid. Like I mean, whatever I wanted, whatever was needed, mom would take care of it. And the problem was that when I was growing, when I got older, I actually didn't learn some of the most basic survival skills. And I have friends, and you can probably think of a few people that you know, who are the embodiment of that standard 30 or 40 something loser who lives in their parents' basement and like they're just playing video games all day long. And I mean, I have old guy. I don't know if that's still the case, but they had a allowance. They had an allowance from their parents when they were, I think, 28 roughly. That was the last time I talked to them. And like we're getting to at that point, you're getting to a point where like it's socially embarrassing for you, I would argue, to be that dependent on your parents. You should have progressed out of that. Well, you at some point you should have, if you are living a fairly progressive life where you're actually building yourself up for the future, you should have progressed away from that a long time ago. And see, this is something that parents will do. Like if they curling parents and so forth, they might put their kids in this sort of situation, but you can put yourself there as well. You can actually go through a lot of strife in your life and get to a point where you feel very sorry for yourself. And I'm very sorry to tell you that although I'm absolutely sure that you have every right to feel sorry about yourself, the healthiest thing for you is to collapse, feel sorry for yourself, and then realize that practically nobody else gives a shit about you. And the only person who can really help you make things better is you. There are people who will assist you if they like you, and they will try to give you something to make the journey easier, but they're not going to do the work for you. You're the one who has to stand up, dust yourself off, and go and do things. And the thing is, working hard and doing things that improves you, it might be uncomfortable and it may not always be the funnest thing in the world, but it will make you stronger. And that's the thing. Asking for help when you need it, and also being very grateful and showing appreciation to the people who are actually willing to help you, that's a very healthy thing. But you should never let other people do things for you that you can do yourself, because just the act of you doing it yourself will empower you to be more self-reliant, and it will actually make you stronger. So what I want you to take away from this is that when I say that there are some people who have a so-called victim mindset, what I mean by that is that a person has gotten it into their heads that the world owes them something. And I'm very sorry to say that the world doesn't care about you. Practically almost nobody cares about you. And if you want to become a stronger person, you need to stop thinking that someone else owes you something, or that it's somebody else's responsibility to fix your life for you. Because the best thing for you is to grow stronger yourself. Some people will give you help, and you can ask for help, and if you have nice people around you, they will give you some assistance. But every single person has a limit of how much am I willing to help another human being. And if you overstay your welcome, or if you ask too much of people, they're gonna resent you for it. Even if you really have a shitty situation, there's only so much goodwill people are willing to give you. At some point, you need to become self-reliant enough so that you don't have to use all the other people as a crutch all the time. And the best way for you to get there is to realize that if the opportunity presents itself, try to do the work yourself, whatever it might be. Ask for help when you need it, but don't depend on people to do things for you when you are able to do it yourself. This will bring you better, it will raise your confidence and your sense of self-empowerment, and it will actually develop you in so many, you will become a stronger person. And this is a very good thing, I would say, across the board for you. Have a great day.